It's been almost 100 years now since the lakes and rivers last echoed with a song. Braced against the bow seat. By sliding over to the gunwale into the cruising position, the position is much more relaxing. To rest the legs, alternate one leg out. And there's nothing wrong with sit point as possible. The most difficult thing about paddling is to make the canoe go in a straight line. A forward stroke. The difference is very subtle. Here it is again. The goon stroke. The power face of the paddle turns in. The paddle is rotated freely in the lower hand. Paddling is made easier by sitting close to the gunwale, and the steering is more effective if the paddle is pried off the gunwale. With the J, steering takes place at the end of the stroke. It's called the Canadian stroke. It's harder to learn, but a relaxing and beautiful stroke. To make a turn, now try turning the paddle early in the forward stroke and continue the rolling action throughout. It's called the pitch because of the angling of the blade throughout the power stroke. By drawing, steering is accomplished at the end of the stroke. The Canadian. Steering is accomplished during the recovery. The pivot can be continued by knifing the paddle to the stern and drawing in. Then pry out at the bow and in at the stern. The paddle remains parallel to the canoe and describes a rectangle. It's called the box stroke. The draw is a good stroke, but the sculling draw is better. Knife the paddle back and forth, angled against the water. With a heavy J and an underwater recovery will pull the canoe around into an inside turn, regardless of how strong the wind is blowing. And the canoeist kneels in the stern when traveling in a light wind. A very comfortable position. Of the wild river canoeist is the ability to predict the degree of difficulty of a rapid. By studying the surface from shore, the canoeist can tell where the